Money, it's a gas. This Pink Floyd sellout is a good thing, and here's why. Welcome classic rock fans to a short video. We get to discuss the hot topic at the moment, which is the selling of the Pink Floyd catalogue for 400 million to Sony. It's theirs to do with as they wish, and why not net in a huge sum of money which will keep them, theirs and their families secure for generations, providing they don't get silly and try to buy Oasis tickets, of course. Why not? I mean, lots of artists have done it now. I think Springsteen's done it, and God knows, haven't the Eagles done it? I think they have. Anyway, loads of artists have already done this. But what does it mean in terms for fans? Of course, it does mean that Sony now own the likeness of the band and I suppose all the attendant iconography. So you get loads of kids wearing very fashionable Pink Floyd t-shirts without actually knowing who Pink Floyd are, which would probably be a little bit irksome, I suspect. But it could mean a biopic. Mind you, I couldn't think of anything more fucking boring than a Pink Floyd biopic, to be honest with you. Nick Mason says in his autobiography, spending time with Pink Floyd or the band members is like sitting down with chartered accountants. That'd be as dull as dishwater. However, that being said, I think a biopic of the Sid years would be absolutely fantastic. I'd certainly pay good money to see that. But a biopic of Pink Floyd in general, I should cocoa. Although I've heard it on the rumour mill that they've already signed Ron Perlman to play Roger Waters. So anyway, so Sony do own the image rights to this band now. What that means, but time will tell, I suspect. But as I said in the introduction to this video, this is a good thing, I think. And the reason why is because Pink Floyd is just, it just stagnates, or it just grinds to a halt all the time. Nick Mason says in his autobiography, my word, I'm certainly pushing that book today, that the Pink Floyd are like this big lumbering beast that is really hard to get moving. And therein lies the problem, really, especially with the feud between Waters and Gilmour. Whatever one wants, the other one will blackball deliberately, just out of spite. So there's no movement or any consensus on anything. I mean, crikey, look at the fiasco over releasing the Animals box set. Yeah, I think it sat on the shelf for 2 or 3 years before they actually finally agreed on just signing off on it and getting it out there. And that's probably the case with a lot of stuff that's in the vault. Now, I don't suspect there's that much stuff in the vault from the early years. I think that most of it was harvested for the early years box set and the later years box set, of course. What's missing is those valuable middle years that we all, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall. Those years, there's nothing, and probably because there's not a lot there, really, to be honest with you, that hasn't already been issued. The Pink Floyd Wall demos already in the Wall immersion set, and such as. The only thing there is Pink Floyd bootlegs. Now this is where it gets interesting in terms of the future of what they could release. Now I'm one of those idiots that will just go out and buy anything with Pink Floyd on. You could stamp Pink Floyd on a turd and I would pay good money for it. Now Pink Floyd have been acquiring their live bootlegs. They've been buying them all up over the last few years. As you well know, they've done so up to about 1974 now, from 1970 to 74, which covers their finest period in my humble opinion. But what are they just acquiring them because they don't want anyone else to do anything with them? Here's the thing, I think this is the future for some of these legacy acts. There are thousands and thousands of really good quality audience bootlegs are not fantastic, are they? But reasonable quality audience bootlegs from, classic bands like Floyd and Zeppelin and all those sort of big bands. Jethro Tull has some wonderful, interesting live recordings from the Thick as a Brick and Passion Play era, which just wasn't captured. Here's the thing. Now, if you can take, and this is where some of you techno-boffins could weigh in, because I'm certainly not that. Now, if you can take a shitty recording of John Lennon's voice, accompanied by a shitty recording of him playing piano meshed together on one channel of recording on a cassette tape, and you can separate those two elements cleanly and perfectly, and then remaster or clean up Lennon's voice so it sounds as pristine as it did on the on that Beatles single. What was it? What was that Beatles song called? now and then. If you can do that, are you telling me you can't take a, say, Pink Floyd audience bootleg, which is effectively all recorded on one channel, using AI technology? You're telling me you cannot separate all the elements, guitar, bass, drums, vocals, audience, ambient noise, into separate elements, remaster, improve them all, and then bring them all back together and get the balances right? Is that not possible? I mean, look what Peter Jackson has achieved over the last few years with the World War I footage and, of course, the Get Back movies. I'm pretty sure that AI technology could be used to do this now by separating all those individual elements, and we're presenting with us a new document of that live concert, immeasurably cleaned up. You think about the amount of money there is in doing that and releasing these legacy recordings of these legacy bands. Would that not be a pretty good earner for Sony? But there were loads of Floyd bootlegs. I used to own lots of them. I used to collect Pink Floyd bootlegs from sort of 1970 to 72, up to 73. Because I was fascinated with that period of Floyd. I loved to hear all that Meddle and Atom Heart Mother stuff played live, particularly when they used to go out and reinterpret Atom Heart Mother without the orchestra. I love all that stuff. But there are some pretty decent ones. And I'm not talking about the Paris Theatre gig, which was recorded by the BBC. And the mix of that concert was fucked up with the early years box set, in my opinion. It doesn't sound as good as the vinyl copy I had many years ago. I mean, in terms of bootlegs, I would love to hear some of the Animals audience recordings released. I would love to hear that. I mean, Oakland 77 is a pretty damn good quality audience recording. It's a pretty awesome bootleg, which I used to have on vinyl. And if you could do it without the malaise of the politics of the band sort of dragging it down or stalling everything. So I think that that Sony will actually think about the money they can make in sort of harvesting all these live performances, cleaning them up, using AI and putting them out in an official capacity. Am I wrong on this matter? Can these recordings actually be cleaned up to the extent I'm talking about using AI technology? First question. And second question, do you think Sony will do this? But in terms of the sellout or sell-off, whatever you want to call it, I think it's generally a good thing, because the wheels of this band grind to a halt more often than not, or will never get moving. Nothing is ever agreed on, and nothing ever gets done. Anyway, there you go. That's my 10 penneth worth on this Pink Floyd selling off their catalogue for 400 million to Sony. Good luck to them, that's what I say. Money really is a gas, isn't it? Anyway, you've been watching a short video by Classic Album Review. I hope you're well, I hope you're staying safe, and of course, I hope you keep listening.